What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. When it rains, it pours. If your name is David Eason especially, thank the heavens for that. So remember, he appeared in court on May 3rd over a child support issue that could have landed him in jail. This was literally right after, like the day or the day after he had allegedly killed Janelle's dog. He was in court for owing back child support, thousands of dollars. And if Janelle really did care about her dog or her children, first of all, she would have placed charges on him for killing the dog. Second of all, she would have let him sink or swim on his own and come up with his own money to pay off the child support. But of course, she ultimately wound up going and getting her own money to pay off the $4,000 and something that he had owed to the mother of his son. Remember, this is the son that he was kept away from pretty much like 90% of his life, because while she was pregnant with the child, David allegedly strangled her and beat her and caused her to go into early labor with him. Like, this guy is bad news, bad news. Radar Online did manage to grab copies of the court rulings and all of the court transcripts, and it is absolutely amazing what you find out. Okay, so let's just dive right into it. First of all, the judge was amazing. She did a really great job of condemning like all of David's BS excuses. First of all, for why Maryssa is being homeschooled by his ignorant ass. Second of all, why his ignorant ass is not even working, and the list goes on and on. So let's start off with Maryssa being homeschooled, shall we? The judge said, and I quote, "The defendant's choice in homeschooling a child rather than seeking gainful employment is in bad faith and shows a naive indifference to his compliance with his court-ordered obligation to pay child support." Defendant testified that he stays at home with his daughter and homeschools her despite other children living with him in the same home that are attending traditional school outside of the home. Court testimonies also revealed that David actually wound up earning somewhere between $60,000 to $120,000 per season from MTV, and he only had appeared for like a year or just over a year at that point before being fired for his homophobic, transphobic, and racist tweets. Like, that is pretty wild to me. When it comes to Janelle's earnings, she actually was earning $400,000, maybe even over that is what it says here on the show last year alone. She walked away from that and her kids and her dog for David frickin' Eason, who now earns and has always earned before her like $0.00. Again, as we all know, the judge ultimately ordered David to pay back the money almost immediately or face jail time. Janelle paid off the money. One thing that was interesting to note was that David had stopped paying child support after the 911 call surfaced. Remember, Janelle called 911 after David allegedly straddled her and injured her collarbone and became violent with her. When that surfaced, Olivia, the mother of his son, had stopped all visitation with the son. David was only allowed to visit him for like a couple months at that time is when it just had started up, and then the violence came out and she rightfully stopped him from seeing the son, and so David decided to spite her by refusing to support his own son. And lastly, the judge absolutely ripped him a new one for being an unemployed bum. Remember, she did not buy his excuse that he couldn't work because he was homeschooling his daughter. She was like, come on, the rest of these kids are in school, out of the house all day, and this is the one that you have to homeschool. That doesn't make any sense. And then David offered up a different excuse. This time he claimed that because he had vitiligo, he couldn't work outside. But we all know that is not true. This guy is an avid raker. He builds chicken coops. He boats all day. Like, he shoots at like dummies outside in the backyard pretending they're Secret Service or the president. This guy is outside all day, every day, and she absolutely was not buying it. She said, and I quote, "The court does not find the defendant's testimony credible that his vitiligo prevents him from any gainful or meaningful employment that would allow him to earn sums of money." So as you can see, the judge was painting a really clear picture of the amount of money that David has access through, either through his former MTV paycheck. By the way, it was $60,000 a year, so probably about $120,000 in total is what he earned with MTV. And Janelle gifting him things like a $6,000 boat. They spent about $6,000 on land. She noted all of his weapons as well. She said, what did he say? The defendant also has around 2,000 arms of ammunition. He also owns many weapons, including handguns, shotguns, and semi-automatic weapons, all of which aren't cheap. So she is not playing with his claims that he cannot pay child support for his son. Congratulations to her for throwing the book at David, but unfortunately, yet again, Janelle comes to the aid of David instead of taking the opportunity to escape from him by allowing him to take his own responsibility to pay the child support for his own son. If she was really distraught about the dog and her children witnessing the killing of the dog, she would have allowed David to go to jail for this child support situation on his own, because she's done more than enough to provide him with access to money, either through gifting him things like all that she's bought from him for him, including a boat. I'm surprised the cars weren't listed in here as well, and getting him the job with MTV that earned him a total of about $120,000 in all of his time there. Like, she could have bought her time and escaped with her children and divorced his ass. Like, you know, it was handed to her on a silver platter, and instead she chose to allow her children to all be separated in different homes. That was another opportunity they gave her. David just can't be around the kids. You could be with them. And she could have rented a home and been with her kids, but instead she chose David yet again. So anyway, you guys, that is a wrap up of what went on during David's May 3rd court child support hearing. As usual, I'm excited to hear what you have to say about everything. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below.